Hola a todos, ¿qué tal? Bienvenidos a Martínez, bienvenidos al juego Disco Elysium, acá con nuestro detective amnésico Disco. Tenemos varias misiones principales desde el episodio anterior. Tenemos que contactar al doctor Lazaret para que nos ayude un poco con nuestro cerebro, la recomendación de Kim. Tenemos que abrir el contenedor de basura para encontrar más pistas. Tenemos que preguntarle al camarero Garte. Y tenemos que buscar la bola perdida de nuestros dos ancianos compañeros, a los cuales le malogré su juego, pensando que era un tiro de bala. Ahorita estamos buscando cosas y subiendo el nivel poco a poco antes de ir a la misión principal, que es retirar el cadáver del árbol. Como hemos tenido muy mala suerte, todavía estamos primero ganando experiencia para subir los puntos de habilidad y así no hacerme menos daño, porque si no tendré un game over mucho más rápido. Bueno, empezamos hablando con este compañero de acá.
Good morning to you, officers.
Hombre en la esclusa del agua, parece que no tiene nombre, o no lo quiere
A
decir.
burly man hangs out by the waterlock, carving up a generous serving of salami with an old hunter's knife. His eyes are fixed on a man stranded on the other side of the waterlock and on an enormous billboard that has fallen down into the canal between them.
Un cartel que se ha caído al río. Lo primero es lo primero. ¿Qué hace aquí, hombre de la esclusa?
My friend Barry the Butcher is stuck on the other side of the waterlock. I'm keeping him company and eating his salami.
From the corner of your eye, you see a man in a yellow shirt and grey overalls waving at you from across the canal. He seems disappointed about the wreckage on the waterlock and the salami.
Very good stuff. Anything I can do for you, officer?
¿Alguien me puede dar de comer que todavía estoy sin desayuno? ¿Alguna idea de qué ha causado este desastre?
I wasn't here to witness it, but those look like tire tracks on that sign. Weird, huh? Then again, plenty of daredevil drivers in Revachol. Too bad it also takes a year and a day to repair anything around here, especially a waterlock. The rest of the coast is closed off till then.
Hasta que lo reparan no podremos saber qué hay al otro lado. ¿Me das un poco de tu salami?
Sure thing.
Oh, por fin, desayuno.
Want some too, officer?
Why not?
Muchas gracias, por fin tuvimos un desayuno apropiado o algo. Bueno, en el otro lado de la costa, de acuerdo a los visores que vimos, había una isla, una pequeña aldea pesquera y una iglesia, un campamento improvisado, algo así había. Bueno, eso es todo. No preguntemos más de lo que ya sabemos ya, para hacerlo más rápido.
A couple
Yes,
of
I'm
indicator lights are missing from this control panel. Loose wires dangle from the now vacant holes. In the middle is a lever. Beneath it, a small metal plaque.
Parece que no va a funcionar hasta que no retiren el cartel.
This panel usually closes the waterlock, turning it into a bridge that lets you cross the canal. But there's a crashed salmon and butter sign in the way. Pulling the lever probably won't do anything.
Probemos. Bueno. Veámoslo ahí. Un carro que se tira del cartel. Perdón, que hay más acá. ¿Qué más acá ahí? Más botellas. Este es el nido de Roy. Para dinero fácil para tiempo difícil. Justo lo que necesito. Tengo que venderle mi ropa, cualquier cosa. Necesito 130 reales. O si no, voy a dormir en la calle. Nadie le quiere prestar dinero a este pobre policía. O bueno, nuestro estimado no recuerda nada de lo que ha pasado la última noche. Una máquina, una caja registradora antigua. Prendas más estrafalarias, la mayoría de ropa militar. Un busto de mujer en la placa pone DI. Un proyector cinematográfico zumba en la penumbra. Hablemos con el compañero.
It's not often that I see officers from the RCM in my pawn shop. What can I do for you?
His courtesy is not insincere, but he prefers being alone with his projector, just watching the movement of light across the walls of the shop.
Perdona, creo que te he interrumpido. Caballeros, vamos a tratar. Vamos a ser un poco caballerosos.
Oh no, not at all. I guess I haven't had many customers lately, RCM or otherwise.
Who are your customers usually?
All kinds of people come through here. Locals, travelers, people looking for a deal, people looking for a keepsake. As you can see, I have a wide selection of goods for everyone to choose from.
No seamos capitalistas, pero a decir verdad, creo que los artículos tienen presión en un estilo, es más estilo que otros.
It keeps me entertained.
Bueno, cada uno quien con su estilo. ¿Quién somos para criticar?
Entertained? He might be high. If he is, on what?
Ay, electroquímica. Tengo algo que me gustaría
Let me
vender.
have a look.
Me gustaría vender mi ropa.
I'm not purchasing any more clothing at the moment.
A ver qué tengo en los bolsillos.
Anything else you're thinking of selling?
Tengo una postal, tengo la cinta. No sé si serán documentos importantes. Por si acaso lo voy a mantener por ahora. Ahora mismo no tengo nada que
Another
vender.
time, perhaps.
Tal vez pueda ayudarnos en nuestra investigación.
I doubt it, but I can try and answer any questions you may have.
¿Sabes algo del ahorcamiento que tuvo hace
I
poco?
do my best to keep my distance from all manner of butchery. Bad for business, bad for everyone.
El caballero parece que no sabe nada de nada.
The pawnbroker's gaze is already fixed on the dancing colors.
A ver, probemos con electroquímica.
Feeling warm and enthralled by the movement of light, while the mind continues to race forward. Lucky bastard, he's probably on Pirolidone. It's tough to come by on the street.
Pirolidona, ¿qué es eso?
A drug developed by the military to treat and prevent radiation sickness. It has psychedelic side effects, and it makes your eyes turn yellow.
O sea, es como la droga de Fallout para impedir que te dé radiación. Amigo, ¿podrías quitarte las gafas por un momento? Me gustaría ver de los ojos.
Why on earth? These are prescription. I can't really see without them.
Tranqui, hombre, soy un policía guay que tan solo quiere echarle el guante a un poco de lo que estás metiendo.
Pirolidone is just something you know, since the People's Power disaster.
Bueno, vemos a dónde nos lleva
I
esto.
was with the Emergency Relief Brigade. Had to take it for radiation sickness.
Oh, vaya, como tratamiento para la radiación.
He's taken it for mental and emotional, not physical pain these days.
¿La pila del pueblo? ¿Qué es eso?
A bad idea. Some poor leftist built a particle decay generator in hopes of bringing affordable electricity to underserved communities. It malfunctioned. Radioactive waste everywhere. Probably some of it in you too.
O sea, un grupo de comunistas han tratado de hacer un generador eléctrico nuclear y no salió bien, y ahora nuestro compañero está padeciendo los efectos. A ver. ¿Qué más me puede contar acerca de la brigada de
We
emergencia?
were an all-volunteer force, self-organized, tried to help the fire brigades contain the spill. I lived by the river since I was a small boy. The Esperance didn't have the art to let it all go to shit without trying to do something to help out. There wasn't much the volunteer force could do, however. We wasted years in the river mud, years getting sick.
Lo de la limpieza radioactiva tuvo que ser duro.
There's a reason why everyone's tried to forget any of it ever happened, and why no one has tried to repair or replace the pile.
¿Y dónde se encontrará esta pila?
So much disappointment, and early deaths. Cancer mostly. And we knew all that was coming even as we were cleaning up as best we could.
¿Quién la fregó para que el generador fallara?
No one's. Everyone's.
Vale.
So much bitterness.
Sí, demasiada. El dolor de este hombre es bastante fuerte. Es como que si hubieran tenido las esperanzas en este proyecto que los iba a salvar y al final los terminó condenando a todos.
A bunch of poor people built themselves a primitive nuclear reactor, hoping for the best. What do you think is going to happen?
La desesperación del hambre, pues ¿quién puede ser? ¿Quién los puede culpar? Solamente ellos y las consecuencias. ¿Cómo acabaste llevando una casa de empeños?
The cleanup happened 15 years ago. I was young then. Later, my second aunt died. Left me this shack and all the assorted junk in it. So
Bueno,
I came to Martinez. People told me don't go there. It's a shithole. I said, people, we just had a nuclear pile meltdown. I'm gonna get as far away from Fallberg as I can. Still in the same city, but...
o sea, sucedió en otra ciudad, no sucedió acá en Martínez. Ya esperaba encontrar una misión de la pila nuclear acá. Gracias por contármelo.
I like the theory more than the story. Outward movement, not vortices.
Yeah, you gotta get in on those vortices, my man.
¿Compartirías un poco de pirulodina conmigo?
Have you tried it before?
No.
It's almost like he's worried for you.
Mejor que se preocupe por alguien como yo.
The lieutenant steps away, pretending to admire some of the knickknacks on display. Looks like he doesn't want to get involved.
No, no te preocupes, pero recuerden que esta es medicina para tratamiento radioactivo. Este es... Supongo que las personas que estuvieron bajo el efecto de Chernobyl los habrán tenido, pero necesitamos ahorita objetos para vender o cualquier cosa. Si podemos vendérselo a él o vendérselo a otra persona, intercambiarlo por algo, lo que sea. Necesitamos ahorita todo. Sin embargo, no lo vamos a consumir, obviamente. Esto está mal. No lo necesitamos. Estamos ahorita en un estado después de una fiesta muy dura. No, pero no te preocupes, puedo con lo que me
If you say so. Here you go, man.
Yes, darling. That's the coalition government ordained Parolidon. Straight into your gut.
Gracias, hombre.
Of course.
Tengo otras cosas a las que ocuparme. Gracias. Lo venderemos. Lo venderemos cuando podamos. No. No lo podemos vender. Parece que no tiene precio. Pero podemos intercambiarlo con alguien, capaz.
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags, others yet in bright blue uniforms. All are stern and unyielding in their duty.
Examinar los soldados de
Big
caballo.
men on big horses, clad in lamella armor and carrying flintlocks, the kind that would mow down a line of enemy soldiers in the blink of an eye.
¿Quiénes son estos?
Franco-Nigerian knight. I used to be very serious about these guys.
Vale, personajes de la historia, caballeros, mosqueteros, carabineros, etcétera, etcétera. Lo que comentaba nuestros compañeros viejitos sobre la historia de la formación de este país.
They're not all blue. These figurines also wear gold coats and caps, complemented by orange trousers. They are variously posed, wielding swords and rifles with bayonets.
Espera, se parece a René, el anciano que andaba en la plaza jugando al
This
petanque.
is what the loyalists looked like, yes, at first. Then they wised up and got camouflage.
Legitimistas, y cuando la guerra se complicó tuvieron que hacer trajes más avanzados. Al inicio de la Primera Guerra Mundial los trajes de los ejércitos eran coloridos, azules, rojos, amarillos, pero considerando que el efecto táctico que tenían esos trajes era inútil, se fueron cambiando a los más verdes ambientales para camuflarse. ¿Quiénes son estos exactamente?
Which ones? Ah, royalist soldiers from the time of the revolution. The uniforms are painted a bit too brightly, I suppose.
Examinar la figura
This
desjarrapadas.
set of soldiers isn't meant to look impressive. A few have rifles, but most of them carry pistols. Some even shovels and tall sticks.
¿Estos se consideran soldados?
You're probably talking about the revolutionaries, yes? Yes, they are soldiers, revolutionary soldiers. I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next to the royalists, it doesn't seem like they could possibly win.
Ojalá tuvieran más matices. Tal como están no puedo opinar.
I don't like either set very much, to be honest. But there are many parents among my customers.
Tenemos una buena probabilidad de conectividad. Intentemos buscar una figura chula en la caja que hay debajo de las repisas.
Why? What's this? A headless man riding a horse? A headless man wearing futuristic tracksuit trousers that say found?
Fall. ¿Qué será eso? ¿Qué es esto?
Oh, that's the headless phone rider.
¿Quién?
The headless phone rider. It's an urban legend about a man who rides the streets of Revachol sporting a fawn tracksuit. As you see, he's missing his head. 50 cents. Bargain priced. I'll throw in the tiny cap too. I think he's looking for it, or something. That part of the story has many interpretations.
50 céntimos. Pero es un objeto que podemos cambiar por algo más interesante. O experiencia. Vamos, llevémoslo.
Did I mention that this figurine is supposed to be lucky? Always carry it with you.
Uy, hubiera llevado este objeto antes de hacer las tiradas de habilidad.
That was a very smooth salesman's grin that almost comes off as earnest. You should learn from him.
Vale.
The boomboxes on the shelf look well loved and well traveled. Chipped, dented, they stare at you with the unblinking eyes of their tape reels.
Ponerte de puntillas para ver.
One especially catches your eye. Deep gold and amber plastic with a big old handle on top. A classic boombox that says Stereo 8 approved. Just make sure it works before you buy it.
Lo que quiero saber es si este aparato me será útil en mi trabajo oficial.
If police work means playing tapes, sure. You can use it for that. Or any other time you'd need to play a tape.
¿Estás seguro que funciona perfectamente?
Absolutely. I've tested each one myself with recordings of speech, found sounds and music from a variety of genres. Even though
Muy...
I don't really like music.
Ok, bueno, eso es todo. Es un equipo de sonido para producir cintas. Y el otro es una lámpara, parece.
Typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps.
Una farola. De la calle lo ha sacado. ¿Cuánto por la farola?
700 real. A bargain, I dare say.
Esta majara, si hay una en cada esquina.
The light has undergone 3 transformations, and every transformation, large or small, has a price tag.
¿Qué quiere decir con modificaciones?
Well, there are the costs of removal and rewiring. The most important transformation is the light's placement among ordinary indoor fixtures, which has adjusted its morphological field. The light became suitable for use inside the home just a few days ago.
Tío, han cogido una farola de los que están en la calle para alumbrar y la han puesto como si fuera una lámpara de sala.
Okay, that checks out.
700 reales, estás loco, no. No puedes saber, no necesito nada más sobre valor. Lárgate. A seguir buscando dólares en el piso. Porque necesito. Ok. Quiero probar colocarme esto. ¿Sí? Ya. Este es para abrir compartimientos. Capaz si encontremos compartimientos de basura por acá, que estén cerrados. Un teléfono diario para controlar ahí cuando controla la compuerta. Unas
There's a
cajitas.
pile of cheap sunglasses in a small box, a variety of shapes and colors.
You like sunglasses, officer? I've got the latest styles right here.
Probarte las gafas.
Abort. These are hideous. What's more, they don't even fit your face. You can feel them pinching your nose and chafing against your brow.
Damn, officer! You look like a mega secret spy. Very secret. They're practically made for you. I'll let you have them for 2 real and 50 cents.
They're perfect for concealing your bloodshot and baggy eyes.
Ay, electroquímica, cómo me caes mal.
It's going to be very difficult for anyone to take you seriously with these things on your face.
No, you are definitely not buying those.
Tienes razón, soy demasiado cabal para
Are
eso.
you sure? But they look so good on you. You should think this through, officer.
Electroquímica, todavía la peor habilidad de todas quieres que mejore con esta vaina.
These are all boring. Boring third-rate ho-hum sunglasses made of cheap Syrahese plastic. The kind of plastic that melts in the sun. Those UV stickers are almost certainly just there for the show. If anything, these lenses probably direct more UV light into your pupils. A UV magnifier.
These are all first-rate sunglasses. Premium design, superb material, very cool. UV resistant. These will definitely keep your eyes safe and cool while doing your dangerous police work.
Abstracción. Antes de hacer algo, veamos si podemos mejorar nuestra ropa con algo de abstracción. A ver, veamos qué
The
tal. Cómo
shine
nos
on
va.
these sunglasses lasts a life.
No luck. All you find is this lime-colored cellophane visor, produced by a bargain sportswear brand called Amphibian.
Oh, that visor is perfect for you, officer. It'll definitely keep the sun out of your eyes while you're...
Hey, at least it might actually offer some protection against the sun. Not like those cheap plastic shades.
Deja la visera en su
You
sitio.
don't like it? Sure, Square Joe. No problem. Let's get you some real shades.
Ah, como hemos perdido tiempo. Menos mal no nos ha jodido. Ah, no podemos ir más por acá. Así, aquí está. La alcantarilla pide un olor árido, cálido, agrio, ácido y extremadamente reconfortante. Más basura. Y por acá no podemos pasar. Está bloqueado. Y ya, creo que esto es todo de este lado.
There are clothes inside. Cheap second-hand clothes, smelling of strangers' body odors.
Don't be shy. These are premium class clothes. Good quality fabrics, best retro design. Save the economy with your style, officer.
No me está gustando este vendedor. Pero bueno, necesitamos cosas, ¿no?
You find your hands deep in tattered and faded garments made from weird polyester blends that make your body itch and sweat in all the wrong places.
Economical, but also trendy. Look first hand, buy second hand. Keep the economy moving.
Encontré algo que valga la pena salvar de este montón de trapos.
Something cold grazes your hand. Synthetic and sleek. A windbreaker. Surf, it says, but also wind, summer, 100% waterproof, and sport. All in.
Good choice, officer. Mega sporty. And it's only $4.50 for you, sir.
Pensé que me lo iba a regalar si ganaba la tirada. Oh, no, pasamos. Hablamos con el caballero antes de irnos.
You see a Samaran street vendor surround. The name Sileng is embroidered over his breast pocket.
Happy shopping, officer. Everything's cool here.
¿Qué es tan cool?
Everything's cool. The goods are cool. The customers are cool. The place is cool. And one more thing, officer. You're very cool. Bang, 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 bang.
¿Crees que soy guay? ¿De verdad?
Oh, yes. You got style. You got personal style. You know what you like. You like premium menswear. Look around and browse. Everything looks cool on a guy like you. Take your time.
Don't be distracted by the flattery and funny man act. Questions.
¿Qué? ¿De dónde eres, Sileng?
Me? It's a boring story, officer. Who cares about the past? I'm all business now. All revolution.
This man probably comes from Seaguy, sometimes known as the Apricot Suzerainty, an archipelago in the Samaran Isola.
Eres de su... Ay, miércoles, no voy a decirlo. Albaricoque.
See, guy, apricot suzerainty. It's all the same to me. It's all cool. I'm interested in sales. Go ahead, let's make one. Super high quality, friendly prices.
Punta de retórica. Retórica. ¿Qué tenemos de retórica? Caballito, allí, caballito. Dame suerte, necesitamos suerte. Retórica. Nos quitamos el corridio. E intentemos una vez más.
Everything's still cool here, officer.
28%. Bueno, esperemos que no nos golpee.
No need to dress this one up. Just tell him what you want.
Tú, dinero, ahora.
Oh, okay. But why, officer?
No lo sé, es lo único que se me lo pasó por la cabeza. Necesito conseguir algo de dinero de alguna forma.
Ah, yes. Money is very important.
Are you trying to ask for a bribe? If so, you're not doing a very good job.
No es soborno, es una limosna.
Sorry, detective.
Como apesto hasta para pedir sobornos. Vámonos de acá. Que... Corramos. Bien, tenemos las herramientas. Por último, hablamos con este caballero.
I am a gander and a hunter and a gatherer. Feel like a traveler.
A simple little cadence. He seems to be making it up as he goes.
Seguir escuchando.
From another planet. Hey there.
Hey, Eh, soy la ley.
You sure are, my man.
¿Qué se cuece por aquí?
It's the jam, my man.
¿Cómo que un asco de
It's a
atasco?
traffic jam for the ages. Harbor gates up the street are shut tight. No explanation given. Workers on strike, scabs agitating. An all-around clusterfuck.
Tommy Lehomi, un transportista atrapado en esta huelga.
Meanwhile, we're all stuck here in long-haul limbo for days upon days upon days.
¿Cuánto
Oh,
tiempo llevas
days.
aquí? Y más 10.
Feels like forever. Like I was born on this here roundabout and this was all I ever knew. Just me and the metal and the tires, the oil and the fumes of mazout.
Vale, qué dialecto más interesante. Una locución extravagante, pero me acostumbraré.
Yeah, imagine. It's been a whole week already. So tell me, what do you need?
¿Sabes algo del fiambre del cuerpo ahorcado?
He ain't one of us drivers. I know that. All accounted for. Otherwise, I haven't really asked about that. Been wasting time right here. Keep him busy.
It's easy to see he's telling the truth. He's kept his nose out of the dark stuff.
Teatrabilidad. Bueno, hagámosle caso a teatrabilidad. Muy bien, no importa
The man
entonces.
taps his fingers rhythmically against his arm.
¿Tienes algo suelto para un currante que no llega a fin de mes?
Huh? Oh. No, I ain't got any money. They don't want to pay for unfinished work.
No quieren. ¿A quién te
The
refieres?
bosses, man.
Tiene sentido. Primero trabaja y luego paga.
Makes sense. It sucks is what it does.
Maybe don't tell people. The people they don't like are actually right.
Cuéntame más de esta huelga.
It's like whatever's going on over at the docks. Workers got a blockade set up, making demands, no way in or out.
Going on strike would probably help you dodge a bullet or two.
¿Cuáles son las exigencias del
Some
candidato?
pretty wild stuff, I hear.
El sindicato.
Like a giant new power crane in half the company? I forget what exactly. Good on them, I guess.
Eso suena demasiado alocado.
I've heard talk there's a company rep in town, too. Like a strike negotiator type. They'd know what's up. Precise demands and so on.
Ujú. ¿Algo más que debas saber? Ya los detalles de la huelga ya lo mencionó Joyce y ya.
Anything else? Yeah, this ain't really my area of expertise. I just do my job and get paid. I have things to do and places to be. All of us do.
Como todos, ¿quiénes?
Us lorry drivers. Camioners. You still hang around here waiting for this mess to end. Most have scurried off somewhere to get drunk or high. Or laid. Not that I blame them, really.
¿Y tú no?
Not my thing. Chasing transient pleasures is a drag these days. I prefer the examined life now. Thinking, reflecting, observing.
What's better than chasing transient pleasures? The more transient, the better. When one's ended, you can get onto the next one.
Electroquímica, deja de pensar en drogarte, eso está mal.
He tries his best to look nonchalant, but there's a rigidity in him, as if trying to conceal something warm and deep beneath a cool exterior.
¿Qué transportas?
Oh, high-grade narcotics, illegal firearms, stuff like that.
Vale, ¿y qué transportas en realidad?
Can't even get a few jokes past you, my man. I've got another haul of foul cargo. Mostly sporting goods, tracksuits and that kind of thing.
Fine, como el caballito de figura que
They
compré.
usually get shipped to Grad and the Occident. Though we've been making headway in the Il Moran market lately.
¿Podría quedarme con uno de esos chantales fans que
We're
transportas?
pals and all, but I can't just freely hand out the merchandise. The bosses won't be happy.
Entonces no lleva nada ilegal.
Not unless they've illegalized sports equipment while I was on the road.
Vale. Vale, tengo
The
otra
man
pregunta.
taps his fingers rhythmically against his arm.
Dejemos
Don't be a
empatía, no
stranger.
creo que podamos. Me faltan 10 puntos más para subir un puntito. Bueno, ya hablamos todo acá, ¿no? Con la señorita de acá, sí.
It's raining again. It was clear just an hour ago.
Sí, sí, hablamos con ella. También hablamos con la señorita de
Hello
acá.
again, sir.
Necesitamos compostura del canal. Necesitamos... A ver, tratamos de resolver esto, no funcionó. Bueno, es hora de intentar esto. A ver,
There are
si me
several
acuerdo.
footprints in the mud, left by
Visión espacial. Necesitamos subir a punto de visión espacial. Los chicos son... A ver, dame un momento. De acuerdo a la palanca podremos abrir contenedores con esto.
This trash
Seguimos.
container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says, whirling in rags.
Y no tenemos nada que resolver. Vale, probamos a abrirlo así, porque no quiero pedirle la llave a Garte. ¿Quién no sabe qué más que nos va a pedir?
Force time isn't happening. You've jammed the pry bar under the lid, but it just isn't bending.
Ay, Dios mío, creo que acá nos vamos a golpear. Colgarte la palanca con todo tu
There's a
peso.
creaking sound as the pry bar slips under the lid. You hang from it like a moron, huffing and puffing. Clearly the technique is wrong, but nothing else comes to mind.
Probémosle a gritarle al contenedor, porque si le pego, capaz me haga daño.
The quality of metal is not the problem. From what I see, it's sturdy enough.
Dale una patada al contenedor. Dicho y hecho.
Unsatisfying, hurtful. You hear a ringing sound, but not quite
Pero
hollow.
ya,
The can seems to be full.
ya.
Let's ask the manager for the key.
Ay, Dios mío. ¿Algo puede ir bien en este juego? Qué horror. Hablemos con el cuerpo.
The corpse looks at you with bulging white eyes. The face around them does not look human. It's swollen and ready to burst. His lips are fish-like and his tongue like a ball gag in his mouth. You seem to be holding your breath.
Mirar hacia
A
abajo.
cargo belt twists his neck at an unnatural angle. The body below appears stiff. It's letting out an ungodly rot. The smell seeps in even through your clenched nostrils.
Resistencia. Dios, qué asco, porque huele tan mal.
Active decay. It's okay to throw up, officer. No one is judging.
He's about to blow. Cop's gonna blow Kuna.
Nos apartamos. Necesitamos subir la resistencia. Oh, Dios mío. A ver, no podemos sacar nuestro chandal. ¿Qué más podemos hacer? Hablar con este mocoso solo nos va a causar problemas. Hablemos con Garde para recuperar la llave y el contenedor. Y con suerte algo nuevo. Garte.
Can I help you?
El contenedor de atrás estoy yo.
Mine? No, it belongs to the whirling in rags.
Thank you for clearing that up. Why do you keep the container locked?
Why? To keep the hobos and drunks out. That's why. And the neighbors too. They put their trash there and they don't pay for the garbage company.
I thought as much. And are you the only party with access to the trash container?
Well, yes. Us and the garbage disposal company.
It seems a little callous, doesn't it? Something stirs in you.
Me pregunto qué será esta sensación.
Prod at him and find out.
Necesitamos las llaves.
What do you need them for?
It concerns the case. Please cooperate.
Just bring them back once you're done, please.
Bueno, eso ha ido bien. Y yo que me he golpeado el pie por las puras. Carambas, carambas. Hemos avanzado en algo por lo menos. Ahora necesito subirle puntos a compostura como sea. Para sacar el cadáver. A ver. Tenemos que $130, 100 reales. También tenemos que subir visión espacial para obtener puntos en esto.
This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says, whirling in rag. With a well-oiled crack, the lock pops open. Don't. Maybe you shouldn't.
¿Qué es esto? ¿Qué quiere decir?
Just the feeling. A warning from some part of you.
Abre nomás la tapa.
The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste.
We're just in time. This hasn't been emptied for over a week.
Mirar debajo de la caja de cartón.
You see milk and egg rest with one broken egg in it. Some pasta wrapper. Picking up the soggy packages somehow feels familiar. A box falls into pieces in your hands. Batiste Soleil cereal. There are plastic pasta packages below. And turbo noodles. Nothing of note, however.
Remover los trapos.
Among the threadbare kitchen towels, something catches your eye. A pair of denim trousers. As the legs of the slime-covered jeans begin to unspool from the garbage, a rank corpse smell fills the air.
The victim's clothes? Cadaverine odor is faint. If these belong to the deceased, they were removed when he was still in the early stages of decay.
Ya veo, interesante. La ropa acá fue tirada.
Drop them in here, officer.
Embolsarlo los pantalones.
Guitar marked blue jeans. Pockets empty or emptied. He wore them with a belt, too. A white belt. The loops appear stretched, but the belt is missing. That's it. Do you see anything else in there? I have another bag here.
Pantalones y cinturón. O es que son de esos pantalones que no están cinturón. Bueno, si ¿quién me está haciendo la anotación? O capaz los pantalones estaban abajo. O se los habrán quitado.
Something slimy catches your eye.
Echar el guante.
A drab, long-sleeved shirt, olive-colored, appears from the food waste, dripping with pus.
Embalsar la comida. La camisa, diré.
This is a military type overgarment. No label or serial number. This is the kind of rib-knit shirt that's worn over light armor to conceal it in an urban scenario.
The rest of the rags are just kitchen variety waste. A yellow old mug that catches your eye. But other than that...
Una taza rasgada, una toalla, y eso es todo.
All right. We should go to Gart again and ask if he knows who put the clothes in the trash. It could be as simple as someone from the hostel cleaning the yard. Or that one. I'd advise against confronting that force.
Kim, no sé qué te refieres con esa fuerza. ¿Crees que alguien del Wiggling pudo estar involucrado de alguna manera?
Not really. All we know is the victim's clothes are in the trash. The lid was locked, and this establishment had the key. It's just a small loose thread.
No sé. Considerando que todo está cerrado con llave. Sí, tenemos que preguntar a los chicos quién nos puso ahí.
The fuck's he on about, kids? You hear that, Kuno? He thinks you're an infant or something.
See?
Ya veo, a ese esfuerzo te refieres.
The lieutenant nods, then looks back into the trash container.
Rebuscar entre los restos de comida.
It's just organic waste, cold and slimy on your hands. Apple and potato peels, mostly. Unidentified sludge, and the occasional chicken bone thrown in for good measure. But hey, what's this?
¿Qué es?
A blue piece of plastic sticks out from the apple peels. It's shiny. Looks like the corner of something.
Cogerlo.
Something larger. A clipboard. A blue plastic clipboard with moist papers hanging from it. They look badly damaged, but you can still make out forms and notes, written in a man's handwriting.
Officer, is that your paperwork?
No tengo de idea de qué es esto.
It is. Look, the plastic has the RCM street grid on it. You've even got an autopsy form in there.
Vale, son los papeles de MCR. Al menos que otro policía que ha tirado su basura acá.
If you don't mind me asking, how did this get in the trash?
Oh, Dios mío. O sea... creí que decía que no quería seguir siendo policía, así que los tiré. Alguien me lo tiró por basura, no lo sé, soy aburrido, prefiero completarles en mente. Tal vez necesite poner una eliminatoria, tal vez necesite perderlo para un gran comienzo. Fijo que me chafaba en el estilo. Creo que es la 3.
Well,
no sé, me emborraché bastante. No lo sé, es lo único que puedo
lucky
decir.
we found it. You should take stock of what remains, just to be sure some has not made it into the hands of the RCM's adversaries. Organized crime and the like. There might have been police secrets in your notes.
De acuerdo, eso haré.
It would also not hurt to start taking notes on the case. Now, tell me what your eagle eyes see. Or are we finished?
¿Algo más? ¿Qué más
Some
queda?
items, such as the ledger you found, are interactable. Go to your inventory and select the Interact tab to read your paperwork.
La taza para la saca.
You pick out a broken mug with an oddly racist depiction of the yellow man frolicking in saffron,
En la antigüedad,
only in its social sensibility.
sensibilidad social. ¿Que acaso tiene algún connotación social? ¿Por qué aquí me hizo ese gesto, bueno?
You've acquired an interactable item. Investigate this item further by going to the Interact tab in your inventory.
Se
The
realmente tapa.
container sounds a muffled gong.
That's one thing off the list. I think we got it all.
Ok. Veamos qué tenemos nuevo. Una taza, documentos. Aquí dice interactuar.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A pitiful cabbage of white and yellow papers hanging from plastic board, barely held together by a metal clip. This sad display is made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner.
Guau, un desastre. ¿Algo más?
There's a piece of toilet paper, or is it cleaning tissue? No, it's toilet paper, desperately sticking to the back of the blue plastic clipboard.
Muy bien.
It's a metaphor for you.
Gracias. El portapapeles está bastante rencoroso con nosotros. Qué bien. Examinemos el papel higiénico.
It's just toilet paper sticking to the back of the plastic clipboard. You can take it off if you want.
Lo quito.
Still wet, the toilet paper peels off the plastic easily. All you have to do is shake it off with your finger and voila! The ledger now looks marginally better.
Examinar la pinza.
An aluminium block runs the width of the board, biting down on the paperwork. Its crocodile teeth are the only thing keeping the papers together. A regular pencil, the tip worn down to nothing, has been attached to the clip.
Pasar el dedo por el aluminio.
The surface is interrupted by a silvery sticker. It's rectangular, sparkling with iridescence. You don't know how you didn't notice it before.
Teniendo, ¿qué es esto?
What? That thing. It's a halogen watermark. We use it for adding information to RCM property.
¿Cómo puedo leerlo?
Any capable light with the right wavelength will do.
Como por ejemplo...
All RCM vehicles have headlights designed to reveal halogen watermarks. Mine too.
Oh, perfecto, podemos hacer eso.
This means you can read the watermarks if you just turn the lights on.
¿Qué clase de información?
It depends. Aside from an anti-counterfeiting stamp, mine has my station number and address. The information varies by date of issue.
Oh, con esto podremos saber nuestra identidad. Capaz que sea como el código de seguridad que tienen los documentos de identidad.
Okay.
While a bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your hand, it's a sorry sight.
Ojear los papeles en blanco.
They're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol and covered in dense blue handwriting. Ink escapes into watercolor patterns, reaching its tendrils across entire pages. The paper itself is checkered with faint red lines, forming short paragraphs.
Ok, continuemos.
Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files commit to paper." The case files themselves are plenty. You count more than 100 sodden, crumpled up, earmarked pages falling apart in your hands. They appear to be sufficiently organized and extremely dense, if mostly illegible.
¿Qué hay ahí? ¿De qué van?
Work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51, this year. The exact number is hard to estimate, due to missing pages and an odd naming convention. But there are at least 20, maybe 30 cases, undertaken, not completed, mind you.
¿Qué era eso de la convención de nombres?
Yes, it appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has its case number written on the margins. Yet, still more tellingly, most are accompanied by a name. A title, one might say even. One that draws inspiration from snoop fiction and vespertine cop show staples.
Vaya, y además están escritas en mayúscula.
Yes, all caps. One is called The Next World Mural. Another, The Square Bullet Hole Murders. Another yet, The Unsolvable Case.
¿Hay alguno más?
Others appear more light-hearted. The guys on a couch in an unexpected location, and the murder at the hookah parlor. Even the rare article-free collapsing tenement. Murder features prominently throughout.
¿Estos son todos los casos que hemos resuelto o son los casos que hemos participado? Considerando que hay uno que dice el caso irresoluble, capaz eran casos que no hemos completado, quién sabe. ¿Cómo es nuestro amigo policía en el pasado?
It's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done. Once you're done inspecting them up close.
A ver, Kim, dime algo sobre mis casos. ¿Te suena de algo?
You mean the alphanumeric? Officer, precinct, time of arrival at the scene?
No, no me refiero a uno numérico, sino con títulos.
Oh, you mean the titular? Yes, well, so do I. In our defense, almost everyone in the RCM does.
¿Y eso por qué?
It's a holdover from the early days of the RCM, right after the revolution, when the organization had little idea how to do things. It persists in an unofficial capacity. Officers use these titles to refer to their work among themselves.
Kim, le he puesto a uno de mis casos como un nombre tan largo como le ponen ahora a las novelas ligeras de los animes.
Again, in your defense, I seem to have named one the man with the hole in his head. That was a real person. His death was real. Still, I named it that, to amuse myself.
Sí, vale, Kim, también es igual. Pero qué bueno, ¿quién va a ser creativo poniéndole tantos nombres a cada caso?
I pray his loved ones never find out.
¿Qué les pasó?
Rail spiked through the head. He died. It was a workplace accident.
Ok, wow. Tengo que abrir un caso oficial. ¿Hay espacio?
There is, for precisely one more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched by the damage. The checkered grid forms a structure of passages, breaking the case into subtasks to accomplish.
Poner el caso por escrito.
Sadly, the ledger only comes with an old, worn-down lead pencil. It's unfitting of this monumental event.
Kim, ¿tienes un boli?
The lieutenant looks at his blue notebook. 2 fat, shiny pens hang from the binder, like large caliber bullets on an ammo belt. It's downright incriminating. He has little choice but to give you one, although he really does not want to. He is not really saying anything, just standing there, looking at them.
¿Me puedes prestar uno?
Know that I give this to you with resentment.
Poner el caso por escrito con esta nueva belleza.
The tasks you've completed flow out of the blue oblong pen in a brash freehand uncannily similar to the rest of the letters. The wording comes easily. It's almost robotically simple. A language developed for mental rigor and simplicity. Inspect the victim's body. Interview the cafeteria manager. It's not exactly poetry, but poetry would be out of place.
Echar las tareas terminadas.
A satisfying slash sounds across the paper. You're done, it seems to say. And you, and you. Things to be done and things already done. The composition of reality. This is an extremely useful tool for a detective of the citizens' militia. Now all that remains is to name the case.
Teniente, ¿por casualidad le has puesto ya un nombre a nuestro caso?
No, actually. Any ideas?
La furia se habita en el espejo. El sol poniente.
Okay. It's a good name, but it has one problem. This case has nothing to do with the setting sun. At all.
Bueno,
It has nothing to do with that, so...
vale, sino que como estamos cerca del puerto.
Something more concrete, perhaps? Do you have something concrete, mundane, usual?
No te encuentro nombre. Capaz el ahorcado sonaría bien, pero... quién sabe, el ahorcado será.
Great, that's great. That's actually what I was thinking too. The Hanged Man. Good, strong name. We have a very good name for the case now.
Bueno, me parecía demasiado obvio, pero ya, o sea, hacer con eso sí que me está feliz con eso.
I'm going to start calling it The Hanged Man. It's good we sorted this out.
Muy bien, dejemos esto.
You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose now.
Lógica. Dejemos ojear los papeles amarillos.
In the back, you see thin, translucent copy paper. Some neon yellow, some bright red, all covered in boxes, like marching armies. These look like official forms, waiting to be filled out. Then rip them from the binder and hand them out, according to type of form.
¿Qué tipo de formularios hay?
3. The topmost are misconduct fines. The middle ones are station calls. And the bottommost are field autopsy forms. Each is easy enough to make sense of. You don't have to be an intellectual giant to do police work.
Multa por mala conducta.
A monetary penalization ranging from 20 to 250 real. Severe cases allow for 1,000 real, but that requires special paperwork. The details of issuing these fines are spread out over the rest of the fields.
Situación a comisaría.
These are quite sinister in turn. They give a date and time for the person to appear at the specified precinct police station. Below the call are the criminal charges you risk by not appearing.
Autopsia de campo.
A dozen pages of thin copy paper, bright red in color. Yes, all that remains now is to fill those forms and hand them to people. Fines for wrongdoers, interview requests for bad guys, and field autopsies to dead guys. The rest of the stinking cellulose is much worse for wear. Being sandwiched between the board and the rest of the paperwork must have spared the fragile copy of paper.
Mira el
It's
portapapeles.
made of dark blue plastic, hard enough to beat someone to submission with. The edges are rounded, however. The U4 size board feels thick and heavy in your hand. Light shimmers on its wet surface. On the back you see the embossed letters, RCM.
Agitemos el portapapeles, capaz hay algo ahí.
Something rattles inside, ever so lightly. Is there a hidden compartment?
Echar un vistazo al interior.
The plastic shimmers like lapis lazuli, but it is not see-through. You cannot see to its center.
¿Cómo le puedo abrir?
With your hands, U4-sized pages hang from the clip screwed to the top of the board.
El largo y solitario camino a casa. ¿Por qué? Lógica. Bueno, dejémoslo esto acá. Ya vamos a cubrir la hora. Dejémoslo esto acá. Y parece que quitar el cuerpo sería otra tarea titánica. Antes de eso, algo de Kim mencionó de que su carro tenía luces que podíamos usar para leer las letras del compartimiento. Necesito saber ya una vez mi nombre.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow.
All right. Ready? I turn, you press start. It's next to the preheater.
Pulsar el botón de arrancar motor.
The dashboard lights up with orange glow. The raspberry gauge jumps, and the engine of the Caprice Canal comes to life with a whiny growl. The lights unfold with a little click, casting electrical light onto the ground before the vehicle.
Kim tenía razón sobre lo del horrible sonido del carro.
There you go. I'll turn them off from the remote once you're done. We just need to stand in front of the machine now.
As you hold your ledger's clip under the headlamp, an iridescent hologram appears. A street grid and the veins of a great river. A familiar sensation washes over you.
There she is. Revachol West.
Rebachó el oeste, o sea, esa es la dirección donde vivo, o donde estoy.
Around the borders of the watermark are dozens, no, hundreds of micro perforations.
Mira el reluciente red de calles.
The rectangular watermark is overlaid with the logo of the RCM, and yet the major arteries of Revachol are all recognizable. They shimmer in the Kanema's headlights.
Espera, mira a tu
A
alrededor.
rat brazenly darts past you and disappears amongst the stopped lorries. In the distance, a child somewhere shrieks. A woman reprimands her in a voice no quieter than the child's cry.
Ah, Martinez.
¿Dónde estamos?
Let me see. Right here.
Parece agradable.
No, it does not.
Mira las perforaciones.
There are many of them, and they are divided into 3 separate rows.
Contar las diferentes
The
filas.
first row has 18 dots.
Y la siguiente.
The next is the longest. It runs all the way around the border, and then some.
Contarlas individualmente.
There are so many, it's hard to count. More than 150, at least. Maybe even 200.
Y la
The
última.
last row has 3 perforations.
Solo 3.
That's it.
Oye, Ken, ¿qué significan todos estos agujeritos?
Those are perforations. They represent your record as an officer of the RCM. They are your statistics, as it were. I should have guessed you'd keep a record. Officers often do. Let's take a look.
Ya veo, así que es mi registro. Yo esperaba algo como mi nombre o algo así.
The first row represents your years of service. 18 years. Okay, not bad at all. What did you do before you volunteered?
Ah, 18, llevo ya en esto. 18 años como inspector. Mi estimado personaje que sin nombre, yo lo veo con 40, o sea, los 20 años. Probablemente algún trabajo de oficina, como todo el mundo.
No shame in working a regular job, detective. Sometimes after a long day of doing this, I even envy it. Let's move on, shall we? This next row, the one that wraps all the way around, is your number of closed cases. Closed is good. It means finished. You've got, let's see... Wow, more than 200.
¿Eso es mucho?
It's quite a lot, even for someone who's been on the force for nearly 2 decades. Usually, clearing more than 10 cases a year puts you in the 90th percentile of all RCM officers.
Eso es bueno. Es un consuelo, supongo. ¿Qué indica el último número?
Right. Those are your confirmed kills. You've got precisely 3 perforations there.
Confirmed kills. That sounds pretty evil. A drink would soften that feeling.
No, no, no. Vamos a terminar este maldito caso y arreglar todas las cosas que tenemos que hacer. Eso no es mucho.
For an RCM officer, especially Precinct 41, which is in the Jamrock Quarter, it's rather tame. I mean that in a good way.
Oh, bueno.
There are certain officers who treat their kills like some kind of ghoulish game. If they do happen to solve a case, it's usually by accident.
Vale, o sea, por lo menos nosotros nos metemos nuestras juergas 3 días ahí emborrachándonos a full y hasta olvidar quiénes éramos. Pero como policías tenemos un buen historial, es algo. No somos tan para tirar la basura.
But it seems as though you are, or at least were, one of the good ones. So we have that to be thankful for.
¿Alguna vez has matado a alguien, Kim?
Yes.
¿Cómo lidias con este estrés?
Everyone has their own method of coping. Some more effective or self-destructive than others.
Yo no creo que haya estado así por haber matado a alguien.
Personally, I find it helps to keep up a few hobbies.
¿Cómo cuáles?
Oh, this and that. Let's not get into it now.
Debería buscarlo en pasatiempo.
Anything's better than annihilating yourself with drugs and alcohol.
Muy bien dicho. Muy bien, Kim, gracias por dejar el mensaje educativo de la semana. Gracias por todo. No estoy siendo sarcástico, por
The
ejemplo.
lieutenant nods.
Vámonos.
Right. I'll go turn off the lights.
You can now see your statistics on your journal page, to the right of the task description.
Muy bien. Pregúntale a Kuno si sabe algo sobre la ropa. Tenemos una misión más nueva. Y bueno, hemos subido. Necesito compostura un nivel más para sacar ese maldito cuerpo. Y bueno, acá lo dejaremos por ahora. Y eso fue todo por hoy. Tenemos nuevas misiones y todo eso que tenemos que completar poco a poco. Ya son la 1 de la tarde. Y bueno, eso es todo. Muchas gracias por ver. Hasta la próxima.